Brother Francesco, the firstborn son in a pious farming family, and then he was sent to an abbey at some point in his young life.
It's a warm morning. I'm sitting in the courtyard after my chores are done, reading through my family's Bible, and a vision of beauty walks through the abbey gate. I've never seen this girl before, but she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. But one of the nights I'm sneaking about, I can't sleep. I'm tormented by visions of Gabriella. I know it's a sin to touch myself, so I have to occupy myself to do something. I turn the corner and I run into Abbot Giuseppe.
Brother Francesco, at sundown you must stay within the confines of the monastery.
I know. I know, Abbot.
It's not only for your own discipline, but it's also for your own safety. There are foul things that exist in the night.
I must confess, Abbot, I've been having impure thoughts of the flesh.
Impure thoughts of the flesh are not a sin by themselves. What is a sin in life is when we act upon the impulses that we have. That is the true test that God has given you. He places these thoughts in your head not to torment you, but to give you the opportunity to prove your devotion to Him.
Maybe this abbey is built over a tomb. One of the secret purposes of the abbot is to make sure that that tomb is always sealed. And maybe in one of my nightly wanderings, I go down into this area and find it's a crypt. There's a green glow that starts, and then like a bolt, it just like impacts my chest and leaves a permanent wound of scar that looks like a blast. My mind goes blank, and then I start seeing visions of ancient bloody battles, throats ripped out, skin peeled off of them, blood dripping from mouths, and it's just so overwhelming that I feel the life getting sucked out of me. When I wake up, I feel different. I feel my face and it feels very caved in. I look like I have a plague. In my mind, this is God's way of punishing me for failing His test.
Welcome back to Table for Two. I'm your host, David Guthrie, and this is Paul Sollimo, aka Brother Francesco. We didn't decide actually how old you were when you got turned. I was gonna ask you that on the break.
If we met Gabriella at 15, maybe give that a little time to cook, and then build up to that stolen kiss, I would say maybe like 17.
Yeah, okay. So 2 years in, so 17, at 17. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. At 17. Okay. Anyways, that totally derailed what I was saying. My intro. Hello, welcome back to Table for Two. We're playing 1,000-Year-Old Vampire with Paul Sollimo, aka Brother Francesco, the young monk who couldn't stay in his room and couldn't keep it in his pants. He just couldn't keep it in his pants. And he had to go and sneak out and find the ancient evil as one does.
Oh, man.
And you're now forever.
This is what happens when you can't touch yourself. You turn into ancient evil.
This is the PSA for masturbating. Okay, let's play the game now. Let's see what happens to this
All
guy.
right.
I want to know.
Some dice mojo.
You got dice. You have a D10. You have a D6.
I do.
You're gonna roll them together, and you're gonna subtract the D6 from the D10, and you're gonna get a number. It's either gonna be positive, 0, or a negative.
You didn't tell me I'd have to math in this game, David.
Yes, you have to math.
So
1,000
subtract D6.
years of math.
My first roll is a -5. I got a 1 on the D10 and a 6 on the D6.
Interesting. I think that means we
Reroll.
start at, no. It just means we start at 1. 'Cause you can't, there's no negative entries here. So I basically have numbered entries, and whatever you roll is the number, and then it's going to progress you like forward or backward, depending if it's a negative or positive. And then I guess eventually we get to the end if we go far enough down. So the first question, the first prompt is number 1. In your blood hunger. So we assume that you have now a blood hunger as part of your immortality. Like you are a vampire, and that basically means you have to feed to stay alive.
Okay.
In your blood hunger, you destroy someone close to you. Kill a mortal character and create a mortal one if none are available. And then you take the skill Bloodthirsty. So we're gonna kill one of these people right off the bat. Where are the characters?
We've got the Abbot, Brother Jacoby, the Bully, and Gabriella. I mean, I would love to kill Jacoby off, but I think story-wise, it's going to be Abbot Giuseppe or Gabriella. So do we decide this through just kind of talking it out, or a decision?
Yeah, you decided, right? You just decided. I don't know yet, but let's start with the facts. Like, tell me who you think you killed.
I think it's going to be the Abbot, because he's going to be the first one to see the change of my appearance.
Yeah.
And he's going to probably question me, and there's going to be an opportunity for some death.
I think, let's get the music back. I think that, I don't think we're going to roleplay every one of these, but I think that we just have to roleplay this first one.
Okay.
So this is some days, maybe later, after your incident in the crypt. You've noticed a change in yourself. How long after do you think this is? This is the next day? Is this like...
Maybe 2 days later. Like maybe I've been able to avoid him enough for the first day, get through my prayers and chores, cover my face with a hood.
It's a pretty solitary life. Actually, let's not do 2 days later, because that just seems too soon. Okay. I think this is like, you've managed to sort of hide this for some time. Maybe this is like a couple weeks have gone by. And you're like, because it's such a solitary life, I think you're able to sort of like, you see your reflection. You've somehow seen your reflection. I don't know. Did they have mirrors in the 1200s? I don't know how you saw your reflection.
So in the well, the surface of the well water.
In the well water, like the next day and you went to drink water and it just was foul to you.
Yeah.
The water was like this, I don't like this. Like, it was like drinking acid. I'm going to make assumptions. If you don't like them, feel free to interject with a different idea.
And I think I would be tormented, feeling like God has just cursed me with this affliction because he no longer loves me. What do I do with my life? This is like a major life crisis. Like, I was supposed to be a monk and supposed to be dedicated to loving God, and God has forsaken me. Rightfully so, because I failed my test. Now I've got to like hold this burden and figure out, I failed my family, I failed the abbot, I failed God. Gabriella was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with that? So I think over time, I'm just trying to hide this affliction, but inside I'm tormented and torn apart of like, I've ruined my life and God has forsaken me. How am I going to survive in this monastery under those conditions? And
not only that, but you can't eat and drink, and you have this desire that is like building up within you, like to like anything alive, anything moving.
My impure thoughts have transitioned from like kissing Gabriella to ripping out her throat.
Yeah, and also just like the taste of her blood, and you're starting to obsess over the idea of it. So I think before we get into the first murder, there's got to be some sort of animal or something that dies first. Like, I think your first lapse, it's got to be the cats, right?
Yeah.
Like, you go down to wherever you play with the cats one day.
Because it's usually soothing for me.
It's soothing for you. You're trying to, and you're using what you normally do. You're down there, but then you're petting one of the cats, and you just can't. It just looks so. You can't. This thirst you have inside you. You can't stop it. And so, what do you do?
I'm petting it. I'm tormented with all of these internal conflicts. I'm just petting this cat. Oh, please, God, please take me back, God, come on. And it's not helping. It's not feeling better. And I look down and I see I have twisted the cat's neck.
Yeah, you snapped its neck.
And I'm like, what the hell have I done? What have I done? You know, like, and I'm horrified by what I see. But then instead of putting the cat down, I find myself tearing into it with my teeth.
Yeah. And that tastes delicious. But
yeah, it's like,
but it doesn't quench your thirst. It's like having a shot of Gatorade if you were super thirsty after like days of drinking. It's like it does something, but it's like I need way more than that.
Yeah.
So cut to the next day. After that, you've like basically you're up in your room, and maybe you haven't come down for supper that night. You did your chores like as best you could. You did a terrible job. And the abbot knocks on your door.
Okay. I go and I crack the door a little bit. Yes?
Brother Francesco, are you okay?
I'm not feeling that well.
I've noticed you didn't come down for your supper. I talked to the brother Ramius, and he told me that you haven't eaten in days.
I'm just not feeling myself these days, Abbott. I apologize.
He kind of pushes the door open a little bit and looks at you, and he sees your sunken eyes and your I imagine maybe you're sweating, or even.
I try to turn away and put the hood over my monk tunic hood, put it over, and try to turn away so he can't see very clearly. I just haven't been feeling well, Abbott. I probably just need a little time, a day, and maybe I'll be myself again.
Dear God, he's like starts like doing signs of the cross, and you look. What has happened to you? You look very sick, Brother Francesco. Are you? How do you feel?
Well, not very well, to be honest. Have you had any reports of an illness going through the land recently?
Well, we heard word from Rome and the cities that there is a disease that's spreading. They're calling it the plague. Is that? Oh, dear God! And he starts to get upset. And as he turns away to leave, you see his exposed neck, and you can hear the blood pumping through his neck.
Abbott, could you stay for a moment? I have some things on my mind and in my heart. I feel like I would feel better if I could share them with you. I could use your counsel.
I would most like to give you counsel, but I have the safety of the monastery is my utmost concern, and I feel like we may need to quarantine you. I'm afraid. I hope I haven't gotten sick.
I'm sure it's not the plague. We're so far from Rome, and we have very limited contact with the outside world. Really, please, just this is a matter of faith that I really need your assistance with. I really need your counsel,
Brother Francesco. Then have faith. Have faith. I need you to have faith. You must know that you are unwell.
Please, I grab his robes and I'm pleading with him. Please,
let go of me. Let go of me. And as you get closer, you smell the smell of his flesh is so tasty and so intoxicating.
Do you remember what you told me, Abbott? That God was testing my faith.
Yes.
I fear I have failed him, and he has afflicted me. I don't know what to do. I need you to help me.
He's scared now. He's like, Brother Mark, Brother Jacoby,
no,
Brother
I need
Jacoby.
Shh, I need your help. And I put my hand over his mouth and then my hand behind the back of his head so he doesn't make noise. No, I just need you to help me. I need you to figure this out. How do I get God to love me again? I need you to tell me how to get God to love me again.
His eyes are terrified, but maybe you don't even quite notice at this point.
I just I hold him down to the ground and just trying to keep him quiet, and I just keep asking him for help. Can you tell me how to get God to love me? How do I get God to love me? Please, you have to tell me. And then I start getting angry because he's not telling me, even though my hand is over his mouth. You're not telling me what I need to hear. You're not. And I get into a rage, and I just pull his chin back, and I bite into him. And it feels so good. It's what I've imagined would feel like when Gabriella and I are together at last. And I let it just course through my body. And it's the first thing that has felt like a relief since this whole affliction has started.
And you feel immediately like your strength starts to return. You were feeling so frail and so weak before, and now it's almost like a vitality returns to you. And you maybe, I'll throw this out there, maybe feels like slightly religious experience. Like you feel like the presence
closer
of something.
To God a little
you feel like it's like that, it's that essence of life flowing into you. You feel this thing you haven't felt in weeks, which is somewhat more alive in a weird way.
And I think I interpret that God has given me a sign. I just need to be closer to him through taking the essence of someone else. It doesn't make logical sense, but in my illness, God has given me the answer. It makes
perfect sense.
This is the feeling I've been searching for since I was afflicted and felt so far from God. I feel closer to him now that I've committed this act of, I'm torn because it's atrocious. What have I done? I've killed my mentor, but it feels so right. It feels like the first feeling I had when I saw Gabriella for the first time. And it felt so pure, so right, so
that is,
it felt like love. This is God's love. This is what I'm feeling when I bite into the flesh and I drink the essence is I'm feeling God's love.
Okay.
I love
that. I love it. That's amazing. Okay. But let's go back to the game. I love that. So what do we do with all that? So the way we do this is we basically answer the prompts it says in here by writing a short paragraph, but we're kind of doing it by role playing. Okay. And then do we add these how does this work? Do we add these as experiences? It feels like that's what we do. And we're back. We looked it up. And so basically every of these prompts is going to contribute an experience to our memories. And so each memory is a thematic grouping. So we have, I was the firstborn son of a family. I was sent to the Abbey, tedious daily chores. Brother Jacoby bullied me. Reading the Bible, meets Gabrielle for the son. I snuck out and got punished by the abbot. I also have a recommitment to my purity of faith. And the fifth memory, I was turned. I'm not quite sure exactly how we group these in. I guess we just kind of just go by whatever feels right. The closest one would
probably be the fourth memory with the abbot.
Yeah,
I think when I was just skimming a little bit of the rules before, if it doesn't fit into a memory, then we have to ditch a memory and make a new one.
Right. So this would either fit in with that, or also it would fit in with the fifth memory, which is you got turned, and that seems like the. But I don't know how these other memories come back, because it's like I snuck out and got punished, but I also have a recommitment to my purity. I see what you're saying. It fits in with the fourth one because this feels like part of your new Let's put in that one. Okay. So I killed the abbot in a bloodthirsty moment. Kill the abbot, bloodthirsty rage.
And felt God's love.
Felt God's presence as I drank his blood. That's disgusting. I wonder how many people find this blasphemous. This role playing. Okay.
No abbots were harmed in the filming of this role playing.
Yeah. So I've added the skill bloodthirsty now. Let's just keep continuing. Maybe it starts to make more sense as we go.
Sure.
So now we're going to roll dice again. And do the same thing.
-1.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so we stay on the same one, but there's another prompt that's also for a 1. So we're back to 1. Back to 1s, people. And?
Does that mean I have to kill another person, or is it?
Well, let's see. This can't be good, staying at 1. You are overcome by panic, and you maul someone close to you, accidentally turning them into a monster like yourself. Convert a beloved mortal character into an enemy immortal. Take the skill ashamed.
Oh no. Is that all one prompt?
Yup.
So I panic. I maul somebody, murder them, and turn a beloved person into an enemy immortal.
Yeah. You only have one beloved person on your list here.
Yeah. So are those I kill somebody and turn the person, or are those the same person?
I never said kill. I just said you overcome by panic and you maul someone close to you, accidentally turning them into a monster like yourself.
Oh, okay.
Convert them into an enemy immortal and take the skill of shame.
No. Oh, Gabriella. So obviously when I come to my senses after this, what is it? Not clarity, but post feeding clarity. I'm like, oh my God, I killed the abbot. I need to go and find Gabriella and tell her what I did. So I flee the abbey. I run to the village.
Also, you've killed someone.
Yeah, I killed the abbot. I go to her because she's my lifeline to sanity or.
She's your most trusted, other than the abbot, she's your most trusted person in the world, probably.
And I am panicking because I murdered the abbot, and so they're not going to let me stay at the monastery after that, obviously. So I flee the abbey, I go to her.
What's wrong? What's wrong, Francesco?
I've done a terrible thing.
Does she see you, or are you kind of disguising yourself in some way?
I think I look a little better, a little healthier because I fed. But she can maybe tell there's something off.
Like where is this taking place? Is this in her at the farm? Like maybe
I go to her
in the
farm.
barn?
I called to her through the window. I said, meet me in the barn. Yeah. I go to the barn.
And she comes, and maybe you're standing, there's maybe a bit of a shadow going on, so it's not quite illuminating you. So she doesn't quite see all that's going on with you physically. And she's like, what's her nickname for you? Frankie, what's wrong?
I've done a terrible thing, Gabriella. I thought God had forsaken me because I was impure and I failed my faith.
Well, we've talked about this. We talked about this. We love each other.
I know, but it's still wrong.
It's a choice. Maybe you made the wrong choice by going into the. Our love has to be more pure than
my
this.
commitment was to God. I made a life commitment to God, and I let my love for you cloud it because I love you so much.
We've talked about this. People make mistakes, and maybe you made the wrong choice. How could this be wrong? How could the way we feel about each other be wrong? Tell me that. I love you.
I tried to talk to the abbot about it, and I felt like God had forsaken me and I needed his help. I needed his counsel and he wouldn't give it to me. He wouldn't give it to me, Gabriella. He wouldn't help me. I asked him, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to get closer to God in God's grace again? And he wouldn't tell me, but God told me. God told me. He showed me what I needed to do. He showed me. I would love for you to feel the love of God the way I have felt his love. Can I share that with you? What could be more pure than love of God that we share together?
As you're saying that, you're waving your hands and she sees there's like blood on your hands.
Yeah. I just want to share this with you.
It was back.
Our bond could be pure in God's eyes. No, don't be afraid. Don't come. Let me just show you. And I grab her. I grab her wrist.
Now you just fed, so I think that your bloodthirsty isn't necessarily overtaking you right now.
Okay.
So because you have some, but you're not in your best mind. But so yeah, what happens? Let go of me, Frankie. You're scaring me.
Don't be scared. God's love is pure. My love for you is pure. What could be better than this? I need you to understand. I need to explain.
What did you do? What did you do?
The abbot wouldn't tell me, but God showed me. I killed the abbot. I fed on his life essence. But I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds horrible. It sounds like it's a sin, but God came to me in that moment and I felt the pureness of his love. I felt I was back in his good graces. And I want you to be there with me.
She's struggling to get free now. She's like, let go of me.
Just,
I don't know.
Would you understand? As she's struggling, I start getting more frustrated. She's just not hearing me. I'm not feeling heard.
She grabs a pitchfork nearby. She grabs it. She's like, get away from me. Get away from me. What do you...
I just need you to understand. Just give me a moment to explain it. I grab the pitchfork from her. I throw it. And I just start grabbing her harder because I just need her to understand me. She's not hearing me. She's not seeing me.
Yes.
I'm not feeling validated here. And I need her to hear me. And she's resisting
you're stronger than you're stronger than you realize. And all this abbot's blood coursing through your body has given you a strength that you didn't, unnatural strength.
I put my hand on her face gently and I'm like, just listen. And she fights further and further. I get more frustrated and that gentle touch turns into a grip around her neck. And I just listen and that rage starts taking over that she's not listening.
And you see the violence of the ages comes, like you're seeing that montage again. You're seeing the wars, you're seeing the death, you're seeing and you're hearing like a whisper in your mind of this person we created, Krakow. You're hearing a deep like whispering. It's like you can't. It's like a language you don't even understand, and you almost like don't even see her in front of you anymore. The images of her like flashing in and out as you're talking to her, and then once that montage settles, what do you see?
I find that I've kissed her. I'm locked lips with her. And I've sucked some life force out of her. And this is where I turn her, right? I have to turn her?
Yeah, you're turning her.
And she's passed out. And I see that like this person that I love, the thing that anchored me in goodness, that I have hurt her in a way, but I feel like we've somehow connected. And I want her to feel the love of God like I did. So I take the pitchfork and I stab it into my arm. So I start bleeding and I put it to her mouth and just understand. I can't explain it to you. You have to experience it for yourself. I know she can't hear me. She's passed out, but she starts in her unconscious. She starts kind of like drinking the blood that you're offering. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel God's love fill you? Do you feel the purpose? Do you understand now? Do you understand? She just keeps saying Frankie, and her like a tears like falling down her cheek as she says Frankie, and she's drinking on the blood. And you see like her face start to change, like her eyes start sinking in a little bit, and her skin turns a little bit like now similar to what hers now is. And then you hear lights, you hear commotion, you hear a dog barking in the distance, and you hear her dad, Gabby, are you out there? You come back into the house with the dinner time is ready for you, Gabriella. And then you hear the dog barking and running. What do you do? I don't want them to find me here with her. I don't want them to think that our love is impure in any way. So I go up into the hayloft and I try to hide.
Great. And you hide and you watch as the father comes in and is like, oh my God. And then they bring her into the house. Doctors come and over the next few days, you watch as they try and nurse her back to health, but she's unconscious and she's sick and we don't, and that's, we'll leave it at that, but that's, and you feel ashamed.
Yeah.
You take the skill ashamed, for what you've done. Because she's not.
I wanted her to feel God's love, but maybe I can tell that it didn't go quite as I had planned. That maybe she's not on board. Maybe God doesn't have the same plan for her that He has for me. Maybe I'm His chosen one.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay. Well, that's cool. And now you've turned Gabriella.
Poor Gabriella.
So now. Where do we? I guess we'll put that in the memory with her, right? It kind of makes sense.
Sure.
Reading the Bible, meet Gabriella for the first time, love at first sight.
Wah, wah, wah.
Then you, I'm gonna add. Well, no, I don't want. I'm gonna add this in to the first one because I don't want to create. I don't want to take up a whole spot. But then, love grows over time, and you eventually kiss and profess your love to each other. But then it takes a nasty turn. After killing the abbot, I confess. I keep forgetting to write this in first person. I confess to her. She is horrified. What did you say? What was how you did describe it again? You were trying to what?
I wanted to have her experience what I experienced. Experience God's love the way I did.
I ended up turning her. Can't type. Into a monster. This is where everyone can see how bad a typer I am. So that's part of this game. And I'm turning into a monster. I feel ashamed. Great.
Okay.
That's Gabriella. Story of you and Gabriella. Okay, roll again. Let's see what happens. If you roll another one.
I rolled a 1. A 5 minus 4.
Okay, so at least we're progressing this time. So we were at 1, now we're going to 2.
Okay.
Horrified at your new nature, you withdraw from society. Where do you hide? How do you feed? Create a stationary resource which shelters you.
Oh.
And we can jump time. Like any of these can be a time jump. Like this can be now. We can be 10 years later. We can be 20 years later. 100 years later. Like whatever feels right.
Create a stationary resource
which shelters you.
Which shelters me. Should it be one of the resources I already have, or is it different?
No, you're creating a new resource. So this could be resource. Like this. Okay. Basically, it's your hideout.
Okay.
Where do you retreat to? You obviously can't go back to the Abbey. They think you are a murderer.
Maybe there is an old abandoned stone house with a fallen-in roof. It was a farming family. They didn't have the blessing of children, and they had no one to pass it on to. So the land went to the local noble, but the house itself fell into decay. So I
love that.
Not frequented.
Okay, so
I'm just in the countryside, in a ruined
house,
ruined stone farmhouse.
An abandoned stone house.
Yeah, abandoned stone farmhouse.
I mean, it doesn't have to be abandoned.
It's not abandoned anymore because I'm in it.
I mean, when you found it, it didn't have to be. But
Oh,
yeah.
I hadn't thought of maybe I kill Gabriella's father and I take their farm.
It could
But
be.
she's going to
She's
be an
immortal
enemy
now, so I think you need to
immortal.
hide out from her too. Hide away from
Yeah.
her too. So you found an abandoned stone house, and you're hiding out there. Hideout. I'm creating that as a resource. So let's put this as an entry. What memory do we want to put this in?
Let's see.
Could be the first one because it's kind of like where you live. It could be the.
So I start losing memories as we go too, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we replace the second one, unless I want to go have revenge against Brother Jacoby.
You don't lose, like, as the experiences fill up, as each one memory fills up. If you want to create a new one, you lose that. I think there's a certain point where you lose a memory, but you can't like take out. You can't like willingly take out a memory or willingly.
Oh.
So it's like you want to place this just in a slot. Like I would say suggestions are the first one is kind of like all about where you live.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the
New
there could
lifestyle
be
change.
It could be the fifth one, which is like the escalation of like killing for your first time.
Let's do the first one.
Let's do the first one. So I hide out for how long? How long do you want to advance time? For a year, for 10 years, for a week?
I would
Like,
say a couple, maybe a year.
For a
Couple
year.
years. And maybe, yeah. I'm thinking I'm going to have to feed on people around here, so I'm going to have to move on at some point because
Yeah.
things are going to get too hot.
Well, I could suggest that maybe this shame you feel will propel you to maybe try to not be the monster that you, or I don't know, like, it all depends on whether you think you're a monster or you think you're doing God's work. That's an interesting thing to decide. Like, do you feel like this killing immediately is part of your duty, or do you feel unsure about it?
I think it's more of like the less I feed, the further from God I feel. So it's
Got
almost
it.
like a compulsion
Yes.
that I have to do it, but then I come to my senses and see what I've done and I'm ashamed of it. So it's this
It's a
kind
back
of
and forth.
inner conflict of
Yeah.
I am all about being close to God, but the price to pay is that I'm damning myself committing sin, but God must want me to keep doing it because I
Yeah.
feel closer to him when I do it.
And how long do you think this bloodthirsty, like how long does a feeding quench your thirst for?
Maybe a week?
Killing weekly.
What do you think?
Yeah,
I probably start feeling weaker and weaker over the course of those days.
Mhm.
I mean, it could be longer. I don't
Could
know.
be like, I don't know, like could be every like 7 to 10 days or something. You start to feel
Sure.
weak, but let's just say like over the course of this year, you've killed, 40 to 30 to 40 people, right?
So maybe I can't hide out for a year. That's a lot of people in a small Tuscan village.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to move to the city.
Yeah. Well, then we can make this. Maybe it's the first. You hide out for the first month
Yeah.
in an abandoned stone house, and you kill. You kill 5 people.
Fortnightly.
Yeah, you play
I
Fortnite.
kill fortnightly. That's 2 weeks, right? Fortnightly? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Fortnite is, yeah. So you kill a dozen people, or half dozen people, and then you start realizing that. What was the rest of this prompt? Where do you hide? How do you feed? And then, so let's describe that first month in this hideout.
Okay.
Like how are you killing these people and feeding? Are you just randomly, are you picking them off? Like, are you stalking them at night? Like, what's your tactic?
I think I would probably. We're in like rural farmlands outside of Tuscany, so I would probably stalk a particular farm for a couple days, see who's there, and try to catch somebody when they're alone doing chores, or Maybe when they're leaving to go to the outhouse at night or something.
Oh, the outhouse killer.
The outhouse killer. Yeah.
I
And
love
then
that.
I'll kill, and then I'll go back to the abandoned home.
Do you try and
To be
hide these
away.
bodies, or do you like just leave them? Like, are you a full-on murderer? Are you animalistic in this, or are you? Is this premeditated and are you afraid of getting caught? And like,
I'm afraid of getting caught, and I know what I'm doing is bad, and that if I get caught, it will not end well for me. And so I'm kind of in survival mode. And I have enough awareness to know what I'm doing. And I have a bit of an aversion to what I'm doing, but I have that need. It's almost like an addiction, compulsion.
Yeah.
And as the day grows, as the days go on, I get more and more desperate to actually make the kill. So by the time it's time to kill, I'm kind of like in this frenzy of blood, lust, blindness, seeing the montage of violence, and I'm adding to it now. And I hear his Krakau's voice, and I just do the kill, and then I'm horrified and run just to get away and try to hide again.
So you leave the bodies where they are. You don't.
I think
you don't
so.
necessarily take them. Okay. So after a while, which makes sense, after a while, this like people starting to wonder what the hell is going on and are getting afraid, and people are being way more cautious. Maybe even one time you got spotted, or like almost got like, you know, someone walked in, or like saw you skulking away, and so like eventually you're like, I'm gonna leave. I can't. This isn't sustainable. I can't stay in this tiny. There's not enough people basically here. I can't access to people. And okay, so we don't have to resolve exactly what happens, but we know that that's where you're at mentally.
Yes.
Okay, I love that. See, we didn't have to roleplay that one. Okay, so we have this stone house, abandoned stone house. Let's roll some more dice.
All right. -1.
Back to 1 again.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you rolling on your D10s?
3
Oh, okay.
and a 4 on the D6.
Got it. Oh, well, this actually, this is perfect then. You are captured.
Oh no. Game over.
You are captured and enslaved by a wicked and powerful supernatural entity.
What?
Create an immortal character. How do you eventually escape their servitude? Check a skill and take the skill Humans Are Cattle. Strike out all mortal characters as 100 years have passed. Take a resource you have used for evil while in service to your former master. Well, things just took a big turn.
Oh, snap.
Okay, so we'll go one at a time. You are captured and enslaved by a wicked and powerful supernatural entity.
How about this? What if I've killed 5 people, I'm getting nervous, and I make a plan to leave. So I want to go back to the monastery to get my cart, to get my rosary, to get my family Bible.
To get your Bible, yeah.
And I go at night. It's dark. Everyone's in their chambers. And I hear Krakau's voice. Can it be him who enslaves me?
Yeah, why not?
I hear his voice calling me to the crypt, and I can't resist. And instead of escaping to Tuscany with my wagon and other things, I am drawn to the crypt where he enslaves me.
Wow.
And he wants to be free, but he doesn't have a body, so maybe he possesses me.
Oh,
And
I love that.
I'm struggling, but he's taking over, and he slaughters all of the monks in the abbey.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm seeing more of this montage of violence, that I'm watching it like a third person, but I'm the one actually doing it through Krakau's actions.
So you're in their servitude by basically being possessed
Yeah.
for 100 years.
Yeah.
So that's a long time. What happens in
Yeah.
that? What happens in that 100 years of being
Okay.
possessed by Krakow?
So he's killed he's killed all the monks off.
What is his
Gabriella's
goal? Like, what is his? Do you think his goal is?
he wants to come back into the world. He wants to retake his rightful place as a bloodthirsty, vicious conqueror.
Mm-hmm.
So he's biding his time. He's trying to gain his strength. Maybe Gabriella's father fell ill, so there's nobody coming to the monastery anymore. And so it's just him maybe feasting off the souls of the dead monks that he slaughtered. Maybe he kills them slowly over time.
Yeah.
And maybe when he has to go through like a dormant period where he's resting and recouping, I get my faculties back enough that I spend 100 years going to the monastery's library to research how can I escape possession.
Yeah. That's cool.
I start studying everything I can about possession, about evil spirits, about the rituals to exorcise possession. And I feel like maybe my soul is in a battle between, like a tug of war between God and Krakow. And I need to figure out how to get this Krakow spirit out of me.
Yeah. I like that. Maybe there's also like, maybe these wards that have kept him in are when he's possessing you, like it gives him a access in a way he didn't have. Like I'm just trying to understand why he's possessing you. It's kind of like maybe he uses you to like.
He doesn't have a corporal body to move around in, so he possesses me, and maybe he can go past those wards.
But maybe it's like a piece. Maybe it's like a piece of him is possessed. Like he's not. So he's able to sort of like use you as a puppet to like go out there for his deeds, but like
he's still stuck in there.
He's still stuck in there, and so maybe he's using you to try and break free somehow, and like maybe
he has me kill the monks and bring those bodies to him.
Yeah, and he's using that. He's using you to like he's gaining power. He's gaining strength over the course of these 100 years, but he doesn't always have full control, like you said. And so you're spending your time researching. Yeah. And then what do you discover in your research?
Great question. I've been researching so long, it feels like it's a futile attempt, but I have memories of what it felt like to be free and memories of that former life of happiness with Gabriella and the love of God. And that's what keeps me going. And I feel like I've looked through every single book 2-3 times, and then I come across a section of scrolls that maybe I hadn't seen before. Maybe they were in a different part of the library, and I find it. I find an ancient ritual that is in old Latin.
Yeah.
And I have to put some work in to translate it because it's in an old Latin dialect that only the church has any reference to. So I have to kind of cross-reference things, and I translate this ritual, and I find an incantation that will exorcise evil spirits.
And then okay. And then, so what is a resource you used for evil one service to your master?
Is it something off of a new one?
So yeah, it's a new resource.
Okay.
And it's basically
Krakow's ceremonial dagger that he keeps on his belt when he's fighting and massacring. And it was in his sarcophagus. and it has it's imbued with all of the evil he's used while wielding it.
How do we spell his name again? This weird thing. Okay. So great. So I guess this goes in the fifth one because it has to do with this guy, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. Possessed.
Sure. Yeah. Possessed.
By
Researching.
For 100 years. Killing all. I wonder what happens to the monastery during that time. Like, I guess it just gets like no one's coming and like what's happening in that 100 years. It's just, it must get abandoned, right? Like it can't.
It probably
just be
gets a
being
little
used.
run down, maybe overgrown. Maybe, over time, people like, I don't know if a church would abandon a monastery like that, but for story purposes, let's say they do.
Yeah.
Or they send people to investigate and they never return.
Well, they know. I mean, you said that they.
Oh yeah,
they know
would
about this
know.
evil, right? So, actually, I think that maybe for story reasons, then maybe you help him escape. He possesses you. You help him escape, and then you, for 100 years, you guys are else. I think you need to be somewhere else, because otherwise, I just feel like there's a lot of what's happening in that 100 years. Like, why aren't they like, what is going on? You could still be doing your research and all the things we said, but maybe he's created some sort of like place, like an altar or like his own, like his Mordor basically, where he's like using you as his vessel to like do evil for like 100 years, and you're just like murdering incessantly across the countryside or whatever. Although I did like you being trapped in there. I just don't know what to do with the monastery over the 100 years.
What if, since only a few people in the church know about what the true purpose is, and the abbot it was handed down, and the abbot's dead, it didn't get passed to anyone else here. And the only other person would be at like one of the main cathedrals in Rome. And if he doesn't hear anything, he's assuming everything's all good.
Got it.
And maybe that person dies. Maybe the lineage of the people who know about Krakow die out.
I love that.
Because they never planned on the abbot being killed off. Yeah. So then nobody's sending anyone to check.
Maybe the abbot was secretly grooming you to be that person that he was going to pass this on to.
Yeah.
That makes like sense, right?
Yeah.
He had to pick someone and that he could trust, and then at some point he was going to bestow you with this information, and then you would become the new caretaker of this entity, this evil.
Right. I had no family ties that would get in the way of my devotion to that task, and that's why maybe he was so disappointed that I wasn't staying in my room, that I was starting to show lack of discipline.
Yes,
and he was starting to question, can I trust this kid with this such an epic responsibility when he can't even stay in his room, so I think maybe over time the peasants stop coming because they hear bad things, and it becomes a superstition, and maybe like it becomes an old wives' tale over those 100 years. Mm-hmm. Oh, that abandoned monastery? Yeah, that's just a bunch of wives' tales. There's nothing there. Mm-hmm. But I'm trapped in there with this thing and researching. And
I think it's a torturous, I'm going to add that it's a very torturous 100 years, like mentally torturous. Like having him inhabit you for 100 years has just like wreaked havoc on your mind, and like hearing those whispers and those images of violence constant, like it's amplified even more.
And I feel far from God, and I'm like, why isn't God saving me from this? Is this my penance, my torture? Is this God's retribution?
Yeah. And you feel, and you take the skill, humans are cattle. You've just basically massacred so many people in this 100 years.
Yeah.
Humans are cattle. It's a skill. I don't know how that works as a skill. So these are skills you can use.
Definitely going to stomp some grapes.
And then you check them off and or cross them out as we go.
I think that the ancient ritual to exorcise the demon should involve creating some wine and sacrificing some animals.
Yeah, I love that.
And maybe a human.
Yeah. The first person you kill when you're possessed by him is Brother Jacoby. And then you kill everybody else.
Yeah.
And then, because these people are all dead. Gabriella's not, because she's immortal now. Okay, so let me add that. Blood, sacrifice, animal, or sacrifice human plus wine. I don't know. Figure that out later. Okay, just to skills. How does this work? Skills indicate what your vampire can do and what they might do. Some prompts will check you to check a skill. To do this, place a check mark next to that skill on your record sheet. Mechanically, this indicates that the skill has been used. Narratively, a checked skill gives you something of flavor to answers to later prompts. Unchecked skills are what your vampire is capable of. Checked skills are what they have done.
Okay.
So when we create a skill, it doesn't mean you have done it. It means you're capable of humans as cattle and you're capable of bloodthirsty. But I think you've used bloodthirsty. Like
yes.
It feels like we've used that one. And we've used sneaking about. And we've used stopping grapes.
Wine making.
I don't know how you've used ashamed, but let's keep going. I want to keep push the story further.
Sure.
So you break free from that imprisonment. You're totally fucked up. What number did you get?
Roll again.
Yeah.
0.
Okay, so that means we go to the next one because we've already used all 3 of the ones. So we're going to 2. We'll use the second 2. You reinvent your existence around the seclusion of your hiding place. You begin to work in an artful way, changing your living environment. How do you come to appreciate beauty or craft in a new way? Create a skill based on a memory. All so you reinvent your existence. So you've been hiding away in this monastery, basically.
Yeah.
Which makes
and
sense.
Everyone
you break
I know
free.
is dead. So I need to create a new life somewhere.
Yeah, and in an artful way.
All right.
How do you come to appreciate beauty or craft in a new way? Create a skill based on a memory. So using a memory, create a skill that's art or beauty based. Do we have anything in here? I don't know if we have anything. I mean, wine. You have wine in here.
Maybe I go to Tuscany and I load up my wooden crate, my wooden cart with
Still got
all of the wine from the monastery that's now aged.
100 years.
100. It's all vinegar. We'll say it's like it's aged, and I'm going to become a wine maker.
That's interesting. You're already. Can I pitch one too?
Yeah.
Because we've done a lot of wine making.
Sommelier.
I was thinking, this is Italy, and like we're approaching the Renaissance period. What if you used to start painting these images you're having in your head, like these, like all this violence and like the things that like you saw for 100 years are so etched in your brain. Like, what if you just start using that? Like, you start painting it, sculpting it, or whatever.
Yeah.
Painting it probably to sort of like cathartically get rid of all of that, and then you become somewhat of a renowned. Maybe you become a little bit of a renowned painter.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Cool.
Still taking my wine.
You can take the wine. Take the wine.
And maybe I'll just use that as gifts and things, bribery here, there, or just flavor.
Or you sell it. You start selling it, and you're making the money. Like this is like really. Let's say it's perfectly kept. So it's, I don't know how wine works, but let's say it's a 100-year-old wine, which is super valuable, and you're able to like.
Gets me into that city state in Tuscany. I'm a merchant. Blah blah blah. I sell the wine. I get some resources. I buy a little place for a studio. And I start painting. Maybe I paint like idyllic scenes of my old life as a monk, like simple peasant life. And then I also paint these horrific images of violence. So people are like probably shocked by the subject matter, but maybe it gets me a little notoriety.
Yeah, I think so. I think you become a renowned painter in the Renaissance era of like, I don't know when the Renaissance is. What era is like? Is that like 1600s?
Yes.
So we're in the 1300s now. So I don't know what painting was like in the 1300s. Sure, someone was painting though.
It was mostly church related, a little more rudimentary. Let me see when the Renaissance officially starts. Renaissance dates.
We can also jump forward in time. Like this could be like you over the next.
It begins in 1300s in Italy.
Perfect. Oh, this is perfect.
And ended in around the 1600s. Okay, so I thought it was a little bit.
Maybe it was you.
I sparked the whole Renaissance.
Yeah.
People are like, oh my God, the subject matter is amazing.
Yeah, it's
Look
so
at
vivid.
the reality.
It's so
the lighting. The blood, how it glistens off of the daggers.
So I guess the skill is painting that we're creating here, right?
Yeah.
I love that. Painting. Okay, so where does this experience go? Which memory does this go into? Does this go into the first one? Like, which is kind of like gone where you're living?
Sure.
Or do we put it into... It would also maybe be the ones with like all this killing because it inspired all that. But I'm wondering if we just put it in the first one.
I like the first one because it kind of are milestones of lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
Becoming a monk.
So you moved to, did you go to Florence? Or is another city you want to go to?
Let's go to Florence.
Moved to Florence. Sold the wine. Became a renowned painter and helped spark the Renaissance era.
Oh my God.
Took a real turn there.
This is blasphemous.